I've got 3 tips for you as a beginner MMA fighter, which will make you a much better fighter if you follow these tips. Number 1, let's just say you're more of a striker. You might have come from a boxing or a Thai boxing background and you want to keep the fight standing. What you can do is shooting for takedowns. Now this will actually make your striking more effective and more better. The reason why, I'm not saying shooting for takedowns all the time, but if you threaten a takedown every now and again, it's giving your opponent something else to think about. And as well, as you come in, if you lower your level, the opponent's got to lower his level to defend. And the chances are he might drop his hands. So as he drops his hands, that can allow you to come over the top with some strikes. Now, let's just say you shoot in and you end up getting tangled up with them because you've committed a lot as you shot in. That doesn't matter either, because you can always break away, push away, and then land a strike. So if you're in close, you can break away, land an elbow, you can break away, boom, come up, land some kicks. But the idea is, you're using MMA and you're mixing it up. And he's not just concentrating, thinking of striking, he's giving him time to think about the wrestling. The other thing as well is, if you do shoot in and you get a takedown, great, you could have won a point. Obviously, if they're really, really good on the ground, then you might not want to stay on the ground with them. And as well, like I said, don't use this tip too much and keep faking lowering your level, because you definitely don't want to get a knee to the face. But doing it at least once or twice in a round is definitely going to give them something else to think about and not just think about the strikes. Tip number 2, let's go over to grappling double. So this is a massive mistake, and I even feel I've made this mistake as well, for beginners when they start and they get to the ground. When you're first allowed to use ground and pound, that's the first thing you want to do. As soon as you take it down and you get in a position, you want to be up and you want to be landing strikes. Now of course, if I'm landing strikes from here, he's just going to get his knee in, he's going to be pushing away, he's going to escape easy. Even if I am low down and I'm just coming up trying to strike with one arm, he can push away, he's going to escape easier. It's just like the jiu-jitsu saying, position before submission. Well, it's exactly the same. Position before striking. Make sure you've got a good solid position on your opponent. You can wrap up, you could even work your way to a better position. Now I'm in the crucifix, now I can land strikes. Now, again, you don't always have to wait until you get into the crucifix position to land strikes, but don't come up and start trying to land haymakers straight away. It's just like when you're boxing. You set up strikes by using jabs, using different techniques to land the big shots. It's exactly the same on the ground. Even if I'm in their guard, and we're in this position, I might go body, body, head, body, body, head. You see a lot of this stuff. Well, if I just stand up tall and I'm raining down punches like that, trust me, he's going to get his knees in, he's going to end up getting his feet on my hips and pushing me away, and I'm going to lose the position. So don't be in a rush to land your strikes. Take your time, get a decent position before you land the heavy blows. Tip number 3. Let's go back over to Bob. Long gone are the days of just being able to out-wrestle someone. So if you're a wrestler coming into MMA, you might find the first couple of fights, you might just be able to shoot in any old out, take them down, and use your ground and pound, get submission, whatever. Use your wrestling to your advantage. But as you go up the ladder more, you're going to find that it's going to be harder and harder to take people down. So to improve your wrestling, work on your striking. Make sure you're setting up your wrestling with your strikes. So you can throw the double jab or shoot in a takedown. There's all different strikes you can use to shoot in for your takedown or even wait for them to commit and throw a strike before you shoot in for the takedown. But you don't just want to be known as a complete wrestler. You need a full MMA game. And a lot of these tips is basically saying that, having a full MMA game. But even Khabib would wait for, one of the best wrestlers in MMA, would wait for his opportunities for the takedown. He might set them up with strikes, or he might shoot in. When he fought Conor McGregor, he landed that beautiful big overhand right, which almost knocked McGregor out, and that was because McGregor was so paranoid about the takedowns that he weren't thinking of the strikes. So even if you are a good wrestler, again, make sure you throw them strikes, because you might end up landing one and getting a knockout. So the point I'm saying is, make sure you are a complete mixed martial artist and you're not just trying to shoot in for the takedown and get the risk of getting kneed. Make sure you're setting out with strikes, or you're waiting for them to commit with strikes before you shoot in for the takedown. So these are the 3 tips. I've got a lot more tips for beginner MMA. Check that video out over there. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button, leave a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.